Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Happy New Year's. They were reacting to Stranger Things Season 5 ending explained. Where did 11 go wrong? Where did 11 go? If you haven't watched Stranger Things, I would not continue the video because there's probably going to be spoilers. Don't want you to get spoiled. But Happy New Year's. This is 2026. I'm happy to be here, and let's get to the video.
Finale didn't just end a story, it fractured the truth. 11 sacrifices herself. Vecna is finally killed. The Upside Down collapses. But nothing about this ending is as simple as it looks. Because one question changes everything. Did 11 really die? Or did she disappear? Was Vecna ever the true villain? Or was he just a vessel for something far older? Did the Mind Flayer control him? Or did Henry choose the darkness willingly? And why does one small, almost ignored detail completely rewrite who was in control the entire time? And 11? Her final moment hides something most people miss. A choice, a pattern, a possibility that changes how you're supposed to understand the sacrifice. If you miss this connection, the ending won't make sense. Because this finale isn't about death, it's about where the story actually ends. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Stranger Things has reached its epic conclusion after 5 seasons and nearly a decade, ending with a massive final battle that pushed 11 and her friends to their absolute limits, in the Upside Down and far beyond it. Episode 8, a special extended finale titled The Right Side Up, opens with 11 and the group finally putting their long-planned strategy into motion. Everything leads to one last confrontation with Vecna at the precise moment he's about to fuse the real world with his dark dimension, the Abyss. What follows is a nearly 2-hour spectacle packed with emotional payoffs, callbacks to earlier seasons, devastating sacrifices, and long-buried answers, as viewers witness the end of Netflix's biggest franchise to date, at least for now. Operation Beanstalk. The final plan, devised by Steve, is simple in concept but terrifying in execution. The group waits until the Abyss grows close enough to the real world to be accessed.
Some of the parts of this episode were very good, but like I really connect to what I watch, I'll say. And like I don't even try to, like sometimes like it's like I don't want to, but it's like my mind will connect scenarios that happen in my life to a show, and it kind of made me sad, and that's why, like, yeah. But that's the main reason I didn't like this ending, because it's just like they're all moving on, but I don't really like moving on. I like to embrace what happened in the past and just move on, but I like to remember.
The top of the Upside Down's laboratory tower. That's when they make their stand against Vecna and attempt to rescue the children he's been using to merge the worlds. At the same time, 11 and her sister 8, also known as Kali, prepare to enter Vecna's mind using their psychic ability, with Max acting as their guide through his memory. Before everything begins, the episode gives us one quiet but powerful moment. Will and Mike share a heartfelt conversation following Will's coming out in episode 7, reaffirming their bond and promising to remain best friends no matter what happened. It's a calm before the storm. As the worlds begin to merge, the group realizes the tower is about to collapse as the Abyss presses closer. Just in time, 11 halts the process, saving her friends in the Upside Down moments before they're crushed beneath the structure. That pause allows Steve, Nancy, and the rest of the group to descend into the Abyss to rescue the captured children. Along the way, Steve and Jonathan finally put their long-running rivalry aside, reconciling over their shared concern for Nancy and everything they've survived. Meanwhile, inside Vecna's mind, he attempts to manipulate Hopper, pushing him to turn against 11. That psychological attack leads to a brutal emotional confrontation between father and daughter. One of the most intense moments of the finale. As if things weren't chaotic enough, the US military arrives in the Upside Down, complicating everything. At the same time, Will senses Vecna's presence as he confronts his long-standing fear of the caves. He urges the others to keep moving toward Vecna's lair to save the kids, while he stays behind, trying to use his connection to Vecna to stop him. Hopper manages to move 11 to safety, but is captured when he goes back for Kaylee. What follows is pure chaos. Murray detonates C4 on a military helicopter, creating just enough distraction for 11 to break free, and kill the soldiers holding Hopper and Kaylee captive. But the victory comes at a devastating cost. The distraction isn't enough to save Kaylee, who is fatally shot during the escape. Her death marks one of the most painful sacrifices of the series. Inside Vecna's mind, 11, Max and 8's journey through Vecna's memories begins in 1959, the year Henry Creel first discovered his powers. It's also the time period explored in the Broadway production Stranger Things, The First Shadow. They move through memories connected to Joyce's school play before finding the exact moment they need. The path that leads to Vecna's childhood home, where the children are being held. Reaching that point allows 11 to challenge Vecna directly, buying Max enough time to guide the children towards safety through the caves. But Vecna refuses to lose control. He twists Hopper's memories again, forcing him out of the fight and removing him from the board entirely. That leaves Holly, Nell Fisher, alone, forced to guide the remaining children through the darkness. The kids make it into the cave, but Vecna overcomes his fear and pursues them. Holly leads them to the very place where young Henry was first infected by particles of the Mind Flayer after murdering the Russian scientist who had been...
I'll give her props, bro. Holly is strong. Holly is like, bro, if they could come out with a show probably just for Holly, bro, I'd probably watch it because she's brave. She is brave as hell. The way they made her character, the way the Duffer Brothers made her, was beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. They did a great job with her.
Studying them, the scientist had tried to warn Henry not to let the creature consume him, a warning Henry ignored, killing him instead. Reliving that memory prevents Vecna from reaching Holly and allows Will to finally understand the truth. Vecna was never the true master. He was a vessel. But Vecna quickly clarifies something even darker. He wasn't controlled by the Mind Flayer, he worked alongside. Together, they planned the merging of worlds from the very beginning. That revelation changes everything, because it confirms that Vecna's lair in the Abyss was never just a place. It was the Mind Flayer itself all along. After the Mind Flayer finally reveals itself, 11 emerges inside the Abyss and does something unthinkable. She launches herself straight into the creature, choosing to fight Vecna from within. At the same time, the rest of the group puts together a desperate strategy to weaken the Mind Flayer by attacking its most vulnerable points, knowing that injuring it will also damage Vecna. By working together, Will and 11 manage to land the decisive blows against both entities. For a brief moment, it truly feels like they've won. Nancy manages to find Holly, the others help free the remaining children, and everything seems to be falling into place. But Vecna isn't finished yet. The group regathers, battered and exhausted, and it's Joyce who finally ends it, swinging the axe and killing Vecna for good. As she does, they all remember the people they lost along the way. The victory is real, but it comes at a cost that will never fully fade. Sacrifice. With the threat seemingly neutralized, Dustin gives Hopper and Murray the signal to detonate the explosives and destroy the Upside Down. But just as they believe it's over, everything collapses. Dr. K ambushes them, capturing Hopper and Murray in a last attempt to finally seize control of 11. Once again, she underestimates her. 11 slips away from the truck and makes a decision no one else can stop. She chooses to sacrifice herself, sealing herself inside the Upside Down before it's destroyed. Exactly as Kaylee once warned her, would be the only way to end the suffering forever. Mike, Hopper, and the rest of the group watch helplessly as the explosives detonate. The Upside Down collapses, the portal closes, and 11 is seemingly erased along with it. This time, for good. The story then jumps forward 18 months. Hawkins, Indiana is rebuilding, carefully restoring what was lost. A memorial now stands in honor of the victims of what the town officially calls the Great Earthquake. A convenient explanation.
That's one of the main reasons I hate the military, because that's the one thing I feel like is real about this show. When the military finds something that they can't understand, they want to control it. And that's kind of what they were trying to do to 11. They were trying to control her, make new versions of her. They were taking her blood. They were taking 8's blood, Kali, I'm pretty sure her name is, and impregnating other women with her blood, so they could make more meta babies. And that's what I feel like, that's what technically they used to do to people of lesser stature than white people, I'm pretty sure, because they would test all the they would test new stuff on people instead of animals, and that's what they do now. They test it on animals, but it's honestly crazy, bro. Like, this is insane.
For everything that truly happened. Robin is still working at WSQK The Squawk and talks about how peace has finally returned to Hawken, just in time for the class of 1989 to graduate, including every one of our heroes. Steve Harrington has settled into a surprisingly wholesome new role, coaching a local youth baseball team and even teaching sex education. Nancy and Jonathan initially went their separate ways, leaving Hawkins behind, but both return for graduation. Jonathan attends NYU and is working on a film project, while Nancy left Emerson and is now training as a journalist at the Herald. As graduation approaches, Joyce receives a call. Mike's mother can't find him. Hopper eventually finds Mike standing alone at the memorial. Mike admits he doesn't plan to walk at graduation. He blames himself for Eleven's fate, convinced that if he had done more, she might still be alive. Hopper reminds him of the truth. 11 chose to save everyone, and now it's Mike's turn to honor that choice by moving forward. In the end, Mike does show up, just in time for graduation. He reunites with his family, including his father Ted, whom we hadn't seen since he nearly died in a Demogorgon attack years earlier. Dustin then takes the stage as valedictorian and delivers an emotional Dungeons & Dragons inspired speech about how all the chaos and tragedy Hawkins endured ultimately brought the town together. And true to form, he can't resist one last moment of mischief. With Erica's help, he pulls off a massive but harmless prank that leaves everyone laughing. After the ceremony, Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, and Robin catch up and promise to always put their friendship first, no matter where life takes them. Hopper and Joyce share a quiet romantic dinner where Hopper proposes. After everything they've survived, they decide to start a new life together, possibly far away from Hawkins. Joyce says yes. Later, even though the guys are invited to a party, they all choose to come together instead. Lucas, Max, Mike, Dustin, and Will return to the basement one last time to play Dungeons & Dragons. This time, Mike writes happy endings for every character. That's when Mike shares a theory about Eleven's true fate. He believes that Eleven and Kaylee used their powers to fake her sacrifice, that she escaped and found peace in a small, remote town where no one could ever find her. There's no proof, but they choose to believe it, and with that, they go their separate ways. Soon after, Holly and the other children rescued from Vecna take over the basement, preparing to begin their own D&D campaign. The cycle continued, and for the first time in a long while, everything feels right again. The first major death in the finale is Kali, who is shot by a military operative while being held captive alongside Hopper in the Upside Down. The soldier responsible, Lieutenant Robert Akers, carries an eerie significance. He's portrayed by the same actor who plays Dr. Brenner in Stranger Things. The first shadow on Broadway. The most devastating loss was, without question, Eleven herself. She chose to sacrifice her life to make sure the U.S. government...
You know what made it worse? Is they played a memorial for her, bro. Like, I'm not gonna say I don't love this show, but I do. Because like, I started this show with my sister 9 years ago. I started this show with my sister 9 years ago, bro. I wasn't gonna watch it because I didn't like it. I did not like this show at all. And then I watched the first episode, or like first, I think I watched 4 episodes with my sister one day. And it was like, as soon as it was back when, like 1 year after graduation. 1 year, but I don't even think I graduated yet. Watched it, got hooked, watched all of it. Finished it. Like, then they play a memorial for her. They like, kind of like, they took all, like, when she first kissed Mike, when she wore that blonde wig, when they first found her, like, she's such a beautiful character. Like, I know she has a husband. No offense to the husband, but she's such like the character that she played was awesome, and having her die is like, bro, I knew y'all had to do it, but I knew it. I thought Will would have died though, honestly. I really did think Will was gonna die. Cause yeah.
Government would never again have access to infected blood, never again able to experiment, replicate, or recreate this nightmare. Her decision was meant to end the cycle forever, and yet, Mike's final theory casts a shadow of doubt over her fate. What if the sacrifice wasn't real? What if 11 survived and escaped to a distant hidden place, finally living in peace, far from anyone who could ever find her? The other major death was Vecna. After 11 and the group succeeded in weakening both him and the Mind Flayer, it was Joyce who delivered the final blow, decapitating Vecna and ending his reign of terror once and for all. Steve came terrifyingly close to becoming the finale's first casualty. While the group stood atop the tower preparing to enter the abyss, he nearly fell to his death, only to be saved at the last possible second when Jonathan Byers grabbed him and pulled him back. Several other characters faced similar fake-out moments, including Hopper, Dustin, and Nancy, each appearing moments away from death before narrowly surviving. But one question lingers over everything. Was Vecna controlling the Mind Flayer, or was the Mind Flayer controlling Vecna? Before Henry's death, Will tries one last time to reach him. Will realizes that he himself once walked a path dangerously similar to young Vecna. The difference, however, is that Will resisted the darkness, while Henry embraced it. Will begs him to fight back, to help them stop the true evil. He tries to convince Henry that the Mind Flayer is only using him as a tool. Henry refuses that interpretation. He insists that becoming one with the Mind Flayer was his own choice. According to him, the creature didn't control him. It revealed the truth. It showed him that the world is broken, that humanity itself is flawed beyond repair. For Vecna, this realization wasn't manipulation. It was clarity. Jamie Campbell Bower has described this moment as the first time he truly understood Henry as a human being in Season 5. It's the moment where Henry essentially says, "Now you understand why I am the way I am." He believes his actions were justified, even necessary. Behind the scenes, the Duffer Brothers debated whether Henry should receive a redemptive moment, similar to Billy's sacrifice in Season 3. Ultimately, they decided against it. Even though Henry is shaken by reliving certain memories, he is already too far gone. At the end of the day, he chooses the Mind Flayer's side. Whether that choice was free will or manipulation is left partially open, but the outcome is the same. Once Vecna and the Mind Flayer are finally defeated, and the children are rescued from the Pain Tree, the group begins their journey back to Hawken. In the Upside Down, Hopper and Murray prepare to destroy the interdimensional bridge once and for all. They set the timer on the bomb using Prince's 1984 album Purple Rain as the trigger mechanism. As the final track plays, the wormhole begins to collapse. The idea of destroying the bridge between worlds was inspired by the Duffer Brothers' admiration for David Lean's 1957 war film, The Bridge on the River Kwai. In that film, destroying the bridge is a crucial military objective. The Duffers envisioned a supernatural version of that same concept, a final act that would sever Hawkins from an evil dimension forever. It was a goal they had been building toward for years. So, what really happened to Eleven? In the previous episode, Eleven's sister Kaylee suggests a terrifying solution: remaining inside the Upside Down as it collapses. She explains that this is the only way to guarantee that Dr. K, or any scientist who might replace her, can never use their blood to create more supernatural children or open new gates to other worlds. When the group activates the bomb in the finale and retreats back to Max Z, they realize something. 11 is missing. Moments later, she appears at the gate, still inside the Upside Down, calmly waiting to be erased along with the collapsing dimension. In a final, heartbreaking moment, 11 pulls Mike into the void to say goodbye. He can do nothing but watch as she vanishes, disappearing together with the Upside Down itself. Whether that was truly the end or the beginning of something unseen is a question the story leaves behind on purpose. Caleb McLaughlin praised Finn Wolfhard's performance in that scene, saying his co-star took it to an entirely different level while screaming for 11. According to McLaughlin, hearing that raw, desperate cry was piercing. It cut straight through the moment. He said he felt genuinely proud watching Wolfhard deliver something so emotionally intense and unfiltered. During that final Dungeons & Dragons game with his friends, Mike creates a hopeful story. One last act of belief in a world that's already lost so much. In his version, Kaylee casts a final illusion, powerful enough to let 11 slip away from the Upside Down without being detected. Mike imagines that she survives, escapes the collapse, and disappears into a quiet, distant village where no one knows who she is or that she's even alive. It's a comforting idea. And more importantly, it's one the group chooses to believe. The Duffer Brothers intentionally leave Eleven's fate unresolved. They wanted viewers to decide for themselves what truly happened to her. But within the story, for the kids of Hawkins, Eleven never truly disappeared. As Ross Duffer explains, she lives on in their hearts. Whether that hope is real or imagined doesn't matter. What matters is that they carry her with them. Mike's final D&D session also becomes a way to explain where everyone ends up once the story is over. It's a quiet epilogue told through imagination rather than exposition. Max and Lucas finally get the future they were denied for so long, starting with a long-awaited movie date and eventually settling down together. Dustin goes on to university, continuing his studies while still making time for adventures with his closest friend Steve. Will, seen talking to a guy in a bar, finds acceptance and freedom in a bigger city, away from Hawkins. And Mike follows the one thing that always defined him, storytelling, choosing to become a writer. Matt Duffer explained that their goal was never to give every character the same kind of ending. They wanted happiness, yes, but happiness shaped differently for each person, based on who they were and what they need. One of the most emotional choices in the finale comes during the end credits. The song Heroes played, this time using David Bowie's original version from his 1977 album. Peter Gabriel's cover had appeared back in Season 1, Episode 3, during the moment when the town believed Will's body had been pulled from the water. Bringing the song back was deliberate. Joe Keery suggested using Bowie's original recording, and once he did, the creators immediately knew it was right. As Ross Duffer put it, the song had become an anthem for Stranger Things, and ending the series with Bowie's version felt inevitable. There is no post-credit scene in the series finale. The story ends where it ends. While there are no plans for a direct sequel, and the Duffer Brothers have said they're done exploring these characters, the world of Stranger Things isn't completely over. An animated series titled Stranger Things, Tales from '85 is set to premiere in 2026. There are also discussions about a new live-action spin-off.
Just stop the show. 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 Y'all already done enough damage. Y'all already have done enough damage, bro. I didn't cry on the last episode, but I almost did. I need to get my outro out of here because I got 2 minutes left on this film. Bro. Just some inspiration for 2026. I started this shit, bro. I started this 4 years ago. I think 3 years ago, 4 or 3 years ago. And I started it. I came back from Georgia, broke as hell. Got a job day of when I came back from Georgia. Worked hard, bought a camera. And I was like, why don't I just do reactions? I want to see myself on YouTube. Started off with something small, and now I'm making a basketball YouTube channel in a couple weeks. Y'all can do whatever y'all want. Y'all can do everything y'all want. Don't let the past get you stuck up, because it will keep you stuck there. It was hard moving on from 2025 to 2026. It was hard moving from 24 to 2025. It was hard moving from 23 to 24. It was hard moving from 22 to 23. It was hard moving from 21 to 22. I'm talking about years, not my life, but like it's just hard because you win so much and lose so much in those years, man. And you want all of it back, or you just want that time. So make the best out of it, and just make the best out of it, man, because you never get it again. You'll never get it again. And it hurts because you'll never get it again. So you just gotta make the best out of what you get. And I love y'all so much. So I'll see y'all in the next video.